the primeval mystic deity, Phanes. The meaning of Phanes is firstborn, the mystic primeval deity of procreation and the generation of new life, who was introduced into Greek mythology by the Orphic tradition. In Mesopotamia, it is the divine storm bird who takes control of the oracles. Other names for this classical Greek Orphic concept included Ericapaeus, power, and Metis, thought, the power of thought. In these myths, Phanes is often equated with Eros, Mithras, who is also speculated to be the Metatron. Phanes has been depicted as a deity emerging from a cosmic egg, entwined with a serpent. He had a helmet and broad golden wings. The Orphic Cosmogony is said to be bizarre, and quite unlike the creation sagas offered by Homer and Hesiod. Scholars have suggested that Orphism is un-Greek, or even Asiatic in conception, because of its inherent dualism. Chronos, time, created the silver egg of the universe. Out of this egg burst the firstborn, Phanes. Phanes was a deity of light and goodness, whose name means to bring light, or to shine. A firstborn god of light, who emerges from a void or watery abyss and gives birth to the universe. Many threads of earlier myths are apparent in the new tradition. Phanes was believed to have hatched from the world egg of Chronos, time, and Anank, necessity or fate, or Nyx, in the blackbird form, and wind. His older wife, Nyx, called him Protogenes, as she created nighttime, and he created the daytime. I remind you of the dualistic nature. They may be one in the same. Something is dressing up in mother's clothing. He also created the method of creation by mingling. He was made the ruler of the deities and passed the scepter to Nyx. The new Orphic tradition states that Nyx later gave the scepter to her son, Uranus, before it passed to Chronos, and then to Zeus, who retained it. It all leads back to Zeus. According to Aristophanes, when he is called Eros, he was born from an egg created by Nyx, and placed in the boundless lap of Erebus, after which he mates with Chaos, and creates the flying creatures. This passage seeks to demonstrate that the flying creatures are considered older than all other living creatures, even older than other gods. The Protogonos theogony is known through the commentary in the Deverni Papyrus and references in Empedocles and Pindar. According to Damascius, Phanes was the first god expressible and acceptable to human ears. Another Orphic hymn states, "You scattered the dark mist that lay before your eyes, and flapping your wings, you whirled about. And throughout this world you brought pure light. For this I call you Phanes." It did not have a name. The name Phanes is attributed, and it is again a descriptive title. The Deverni Papyrus refers to Phanes of the Firstborn King, the Neverending One, and upon him all the immortals grew. blessed gods and goddesses, and rivers and lovely springs, and everything else that had been born. And he himself became the sole one, meaning only one. There can be only one. Keep Highlander in mind for what is to come. Dionysus, or Zagreus, of the Orphic tradition is intimately connected with Protogonos. Or is it Protogonos? I'm not sure. In the Orphic hymn, number 30, he is given a list of epithets that also allude to Protogonos. Primeval, two-natured, thrice-born, Bacchic lord, savage, ineffable, secretive, two-horned, and two-shaped. That says it all. Milk for babes, meat for men. In the Orphic tradition, Dionysus Protogonos Phanes is a dying and rising god, meaning quite clearly that this god uses vessels. He is reborn and reborn and reborn. He is a god of resurrection. Eusebius tells us the story of his death and recreation. The Titans boil dismembered limbs of Dionysus in a kettle. They roast him on a spit and eat the roasted sacrificial meat. Then Athena rescues the still-beating heart. According to Olympiodorus, Zeus is able to recreate the god and bring him back to life. Kessler argued that this cult of death and resurrection of Dionysus developed in the 4th century AD, and together with Mithraism and other sects that this cult formed, were in direct competition with early Christianity during late antiquity. No links to Osiris and Thoth are mentioned. Quetzalcoatl and Loki are also linked to the heart, with a nice Chianti. I was just paraphrasing there. Or was I? Always keep them guessing. After learning that Homer and Hesiod rewrote the earlier legends, we must take care, as the legends only appear to be bizarre in comparison, because they have been clearly written to serve the empire. And of course, Phanes is the first king, attaching the divine to a human lineage, renaming and reforming earlier gods. Acceptance via deception. Undeniable. Reduce, reuse, recycle. They are labelled genius. I label them sloppy and unoriginal. The new generation of gods are counterparts, and if you look closely, they are actually their former selves. The world of duality. And of course, this is the part where it gets very interesting. An Ankh, necessity or fate or Nyx, in the blackbird form and wind. The Anunnaki and Zu would be this blackbird, the Anaku death bird. The Ankh-Ki is linked to Thoth, but this is also a symbol of the Jinn. The mandrake is known as Tufa el-Jinn, meaning apple of the Jinn. This means the Ankh-Ki may be a psychedelic, which turns the subject into a conduit. It is in reference to birth or new birth, which could also be described as possession, depending on context. It's all about perspective. The man-drake. A drake would be a bird who lives by a body of water. It is another term which actually means man-bird, the bird-man, who is most certainly the serpent in the garden. Welcome to Eden. Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of a Fomorian. The name Phanes, the Firstborn King, Phanes. The Fomorians were the Celtic goat-headed giants. The word Phi is linked to foe, for example, the foe of man, which is the Fomorians. Oddly enough, in Chinese it means fairy. Another use is to express disgust or outrage, and this is where it links to Azazel, a name I missed out, Zazaiah. Za also means to express disgust or outrage, an outcry, etc. Now Ni, the knights who say Ni. Yeah, that's Monty Python. Ni is Malam. The description is fear or tingling of the flesh, which would be goose pimples. Z again is 777, or weapon of the spirit, or possibly Omega, meaning end or death. The PH is interchangeable with the TH. Phanes turns to Thanes, singular Thane. So Phanes would be kings. In Anglo-Saxon England, a man who held land granted by the king or by military noblemen, ranking between an ordinary free man and a hereditary noble. In Scotland, where there can be only one, often the chief of a clan, who held land from a Scottish king and ranked with an earl's son. For example, the Thane of Cawdor, a possible link to the Celtic Highlands, the royal lands of the Scythians. Please hit that notification bell to ensure that you are notified of each upload. Share, like, comment and subscribe to support the channel for more ancient mystery.